It's our AFC West preview here on RobertWalshow.com. We are privileged to be joined now by Chris Thorman, the founder of ArrowheadPride.com, to talk about the Chiefs. Chris, welcome.
Thank you very much, guys.
Chris, last year was a little bit of a tease for Chiefs fans, if I can put it politely. You were red hot out of the gate, and then the season never really finished the way I think many anticipated. How can the Chiefs avoid a similar fate this year?
The Chiefs actually have a number of challenges ahead of them this year relative to last year. The team has improved. You know, Matt Castle, who was essentially a rookie quarterback when he came into the Chiefs, had another year under his belt. Jamal Charles, another young guy, had a great season last year. But the thing this year is, you know, we've got a difficult schedule compared to last year. You know, when you go 4-12 in 2009, you get a pretty favorable schedule in 2010. So the Chiefs are looking, the team has improved in 2011, but unfortunately the schedule has gotten much tougher after going 10-6 last year. So the Chiefs themselves are a better team, but the schedule is probably going to be a lot tougher this year.
How does management and then the fans, how is their belief right now in Matt Castle in this next phase of his tenure?
I can tell you right now, the management is 100% behind Matt Castle. He actually had a fantastic season last year. You know, it wasn't a Brady-esque season of, approaching 40 touchdowns, but Matt Castle had a fantastic touchdown to interception ratio. If I'm not mistaken, he went a long time, close to December, if I'm not mistaken, without throwing an interception. So the confidence in Matt Castle is there. If you read ArrowheadPride.com, of course you have your standard segment of Matt Castle haters who don't believe in him. But the guy is a legitimate quarterback. He's not like I said, he's not a Randy Moss, Tom Brady, Randy Moss combo type where he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns. But he's going to win some games for us for sure.
We're joined right now by Chris Thorman, the founder of ArrowheadPride.com, talking about the Chiefs, part of our AFC West preview. Who scares you the most in the division?
Right now, it's the Chargers, as it has been for the last few years. With that said, as far as fear in the division, I would rank the Chargers number 1, and I would rank the Raiders number 2, and I would rank the Broncos number 3 in terms of who the Chiefs have to compete with. The Broncos have really, as you've probably noticed, had a, sort of an atrocious offseason. And, the Chargers have Phillip Rivers. He's a franchise quarterback, and Vincent Jackson is back. So, they're going to compete. More than likely, they're going to do their thing where they make a run in December. So the Chargers are going to be there. I put the Raiders at number 2 because the Raiders actually swept the AFC West last year. And that's really no easy feat. Not that the AFC West was especially great, but they did sweep the division. They should be able to take some games away from some of our divisional opponents. But in terms of Chiefs fans, what they're concerned about, it's Chargers, Raiders, Broncos.
Kansas City hosts Tampa Bay, or rather plays Tampa Bay in their preseason game tomorrow. What's something you're specifically looking for in that game that you think will be a key indicator for the season?
One thing I'm really kind of curious about is that the Chiefs have added a number of free agents in the last couple of weeks who, are not starters at positions, but, are competing for positions. For example, Jared Gaither, we just signed him, just earlier today, actually. So, he's a potential right tackle, which is a position the Chiefs have been, sort of looking to improve. I'll be watching that. Really, the passing game is going to be fine. The running game is going to be fantastic. I really can't wait to watch LaRon McClain play in front of Jamal Charles. I think that's just going to be awesome. We'll probably get to see Jonathan Baldwin, the Chiefs' first-round pick, wide receiver, play a little bit. So I'm curious about that. But from what I've heard from camp, he's not quite up to the NFL speed, if you will. So, I'm going to be watching the, some of the, rookie receiver, Jonathan Baldwin, LaRon McClain, the new signing, and then I'm going to be keeping an eye on the right tackle and see who starts there and who rotates in and out of there because Brandon Albert is established as a left tackle, and the Chiefs really need to kind of solidify that right tackle position. So those are three positions I'll be watching.
We're visiting with Chris Thorman, the founder of ArrowheadPride.com, talking about the Kansas City Chiefs' upcoming season. One last question, Chris. There has been a frenzy of media attention in this NFL training camp season, particularly around the so-called Dream Team being assembled in Philadelphia. There has been the great Tim Tebow watch in Denver. Kansas City has been maybe a little bit under the radar. What's one story you'd like to insert right now into the national conversation that's worth paying attention to for football fans?
The Chiefs GM, Scott Pioli, coming from New England, has never been a flashy free agent signing type of manager. And, I would make the argument that the Chiefs have had, of course, behind the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the best free agencies of 2011. We've signed LaRon McClain, who is a fullback running back. He's going to be more of a fullback for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs were the #1 running attack last year in the NFL. And adding a guy like that who has done had a lot of production around the goal line, especially in his career, that's just fantastic for us. We just added, like I said, we added Jared Gaither, who's going to be potentially, if he's motivated, and he's actually going to cited his best friends in football are LaRon McClain, or one of his best friends in football is LaRon McClain, who just joined the Chiefs, like I said, from Baltimore. So it's an unmotivated right tackle potentially who came to Kansas City after passing up a few offers. So hopefully he's motivated. So what I want to insert into the national conversation is that the Chiefs are quietly having a really good free agency. Not a lot of big signings, but filling holes, and doing so quietly with good players, not overpaying for them. And, I'd really love to, hear some discussion on, aside from the Eagles, who are obviously, the leaders in free agency, I think there's an argument for the Chiefs to be made for having one of the better free agencies of 2011.
Speaking softly and carrying a big stick, that's Chris Thorman, the founder of ArrowheadPride.com. Chris, thanks for being with us here on Robert.